steer exhibitors enter the ring. Our champion AOB steer was exhibited by Drew Wright from Afton 4-H. Our champion Charlet was exhibited by Lindsey Jackson from Fairland 4-H. Our champion Key was exhibited by Brett Davis from Fairland FFA. Our champion Limousine is exhibited by Autumn Hines from Afton 4-H. Our champion Maine is exhibited by Brianna Elliott from Quapaw FFA. Our champion Simmental is exhibited by Haley Heltzel from Miami 4-H. And our champion Crossbred is exhibited by Dalton Hubbard from Miami FFA. Let's give all these exhibitors a big round of applause. Students and parents, remember that tomorrow at 4:30 you have a mandatory premium sale meeting. So if you sell, you have to be here. If you don't attend a meeting, you will not be allowed to sell tomorrow at 4:30. Junior and senior showmanship immediately following the selection of our steer premium sale. Junior and senior showmanship following the selection of our steer premium sale.
steer show. I'm excited, you know, here we'll get putting a sale order together, and you know, just thinking back, having been here with you in the past, there's no doubt this is substantially deeper here in the top end of your steer show than what we've had previously when I've been part of your show, and that's not a knock on previous years. I thought it was quite good in the past. And yet this year, I think really a step above, and you know, I'm really excited about the breed champions we've got out here. And what's really unique about these cattle, oftentimes, especially at the county fair level, you get this number of breed champions out here, and you look out, and typically there's one or two of them that you say, wow, how the heck did that one get in a champion drive? That wasn't the case tonight, guys. I think it's obvious every breed was represented really, really exceptionally on the top end. I think we see it in all of these cattle. I know there's a few differences in terms of structure and balance, but what's nice, all these cattle are plenty muscular enough. All these cattle, you know, I think are relatively appropriate in their degree of cover, maybe with one exception out here. But I think these cattle are really, really good representatives of each of their individual breeds. You know, just to talk about a few of them that are out here, I'll tell you, after we had shown 2 breeds tonight, I thought, you know what, if we don't show any more cattle, we're going to have a great pair of steers to get to sort from. You know, we ended up with several breeds that were exceptional, but this steer that won our AOB division to start the night, what a good trend. He's probably one of the best bodied cattle we have out here. Tremendous in terms of depth and volume to his center rib and body. A steer that can get out and go. He's good-footed. He gets out and meets his stride. You know, a calf, when we stop him, can get a little easier behind his shoulder. And relative to some of those others that are contenders out here with him, I think he's probably on the lighter muscled end of the competitors here that are at the top end of this show. Not to say he doesn't have enough muscle, but when we get to the real top end of this show, it is a little bit of a difference for me. I love this Charlet steer. He's on the money. He's at 12 o'clock today. He handles beautiful. He's really fresh. He's correct and pretty uniform in his degree of cover. No doubt in my mind that steer is going to have tremendous yield when we talk about cutability and total muscle, and yet he's got a chance to reach into those upper quality grades if he's got the genetics behind him to do it. What's nice is he puts it with some show steer look. He's beautiful, balanced, and I think sometimes we look at that top line, look at balance. I'd encourage you, look at his bottom line. Look at that steer from his chest floor all the way back to his flank. He's just dead uniform. I really like his balance. If I were to tweak him, little bit in his structure, and we see it as he comes back out here, just a little forward in the way he's made up there through his shoulder and his knee, but a calf that I think is really, really good. Good practical steer that come out of our 3rd division. Not the balance in that calf probably to run. Again, a really good footed, practical, easy feeding kind that doesn't have that extra show steer look behind him, and a black and white steer that's got that look that could use a little more. The other 2 contenders, the 2 up here on this end and the 2 down here on this end, I think there's 4 of them that really deserve a strong look. This black and white steer that came out of our semi-division really coupled some neat things together. Big, big top steer, tremendous behind his shoulder, you know, over his loin edge, stout bone, still gets out and moves. You know, you put your hands on him, I think he's got enough on him. He actually opens up in his last couple ribs, so he's maybe not as uniform handling as some of those others that are out here. That's pretty nitpicky. I know that steer sometimes when the young lady stops him and kind of lets him stretch out like he is, you know, he'll lose his top line a little bit, open up in his shoulder. I think that's, when you get that steer out on the move, I think you can see the balance, that he balances out pretty good, even though he could be cleaned up just a tick there in his chest floor. That's a really, really unique steer to combine that kind of top shape with the structural soundness that he's got. No doubt he's one that gets a look out here. The crossbred steer is built out of a little different mold. He's a little bigger framed calf that's got a little more grow in him, maybe could be just a tick deeper back there through his rear rib and flank, like we talked about in some of these others, to level out that bottom line of that steer. Because of it, he looks a little bit harsher there, perhaps in some. But boy, what a neat look to that calf. Again, like we talked in class, pretty fresh, pretty youthful in the way he's made up front. Like his length of body, and he still holds together, plenty good in his structure. Like to power him up just a little bit right there in his forerib, make him bolder in the turn of that forerib to be ideal. But again, we're getting pretty nitpicky, guys. these are exceptional high quality steers here as part of your Grand Champion drive. It's going to be a lot of fun to put your sale order together because the depth is just tremendous. It's been really fun for me, and it's been an exceptional group of cattle. Give these exhibitors a huge round of applause if you would. I guess for me here tonight, guys, there's one steer that it's his night. I think you weigh everything out, piece it all together. This Charlet steer is going to be our champion. Give it a young lady here.
Congratulations, Lindsey Jackson, with your champion steer. We now need Dustin Kunkel from Afton FFA with your reserve Charlet. Let's give our judge one more round of applause. Mr. Chris Molnix from El Dorado, Kansas. Thanks, Chris.
Again, guys, I think you can do a lot of different things. And, you know, I mentioned this with the young man in the heifer show. I guess one thing that I hope we can leave here with tonight, I look forward to showmanship. I think that's a fun part of the evening, too. Guys, I know how much you've worked, how hard it is to get these cattle to look the way that you have. One thing that I hope you understand when I'm judging any show, you know, one thing, I don't know if I counted up the number of county fairs I've done this summer, you know, maybe it's the, 25 or 30 range. But one thing I always try to remember when I walk out here, and it's an easy thing to forget, but something I try to remember is that to put myself back in the shoes of these young people. And, when my brothers and I were growing up, I can tell you right now, there's nothing that meant more to us than our county fair. I promise you, when I was 12 years old, somebody could have given me the option that you could win Denver or you could win the Howard County Fair in Maryland. And I know which one I would have picked, and it would have been the county fair, because that meant everything to our family, and it's what we worked 364 days during the year for this one night. And I know it's tough when you've brought a good steer that you've worked hard with, and you don't quite get it done the way it hoped. And I hope you can see what I have in the steers. What's the beauty of this show is you could have went a lot of different ways. We've been very fortunate to have great help, great ring help, that every steer that walked through this ring got a look and got talked about. And I hope you can at least see what I have in the cattle. It's been really, really fun. Again, I think we're going to just stick with one that's a little more like our champion in terms of frame size and in terms of the shape and body type. Give this young lady with the Simmental steer a hand show of reserve champion.
Congratulations, Haley Heltzel, your reserve steer. We need Haley Griswold. Your Champion Steer Award was sponsored by State Representative Larry Glenn and Harvey's Diamonds, and your Reserve Grand Steer Award was sponsored by McNeil Electric. Farm Credit is also providing garment bags to your Champion and Reserve Champion steers. Congratulations, girls.